Hello, my name's Dave Jenkins, and over the next 9 sessions, we'll be doing one chapter each time from my book, Healing the Grieving Heart, A Grief Journey in Poetry. Chapter 1 is called Hope is a Growing Dawn, and I'd like to talk just a few minutes about that, and then I'll share one poem to conclude today. Hope is a growing dawn. My wife, Mariana, died in 2017, April the 30th, after a 3-year battle with cancer. In the early days after Mariana died, I thought, this isn't going to be as bad as I thought. And then the numbness and the shock began to wear off, and the bad came. In those early months and weeks, I don't remember very much hope at all in that time. But as the months passed, hope began to flicker, ever so dimly at first, but the flicker gradually grew into a flame. Dr. Alan Wolfelt, a renowned grief expert here in the United States, defines hope as belief in a future that is yet to be. I remember initially after Mariana died, I couldn't hardly believe that a future was even possible after she died. But as months passed and eventually years, that hope that was only a belief at first grew full form. I'd like to share a poem with you, and I remember the night that I wrote it, and my practice was I would come home from work, and I worked as a bereavement counselor at a hospice, of all things, so you would think that a person that does that grief wouldn't be a problem. Well, it's a huge problem. I guess I knew where the potholes were, and I knew that I needed to actively work with my grief. So each night when I would come home about 9 o'clock, I'd take my basset hound, Penelope, for a walk. And as you may guess, basset hounds do never walk fast. And we would be gone for usually 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And as we would walk and stop and stop and walk and stop and walk, I would try to get in touch with what was going on inside. And when I'd get home, I'd sit down in my recliner and I would begin to write. And that was my way to process what was going on inside. One winter evening, I remember walking, and I heard a wind chime. It was on Cortlandt Street, just north of 3rd, between 3rd and 4th Street here in Topeka. And I wrote these words. Sweetly sings the wind chime to the cold and wintry air, says it is nighttime, do not howl in despair. To the cold and wintry air, its melody softly sings, do not howl in despair, you never know what the winds will bring. Its melody softly sings, a clarion of hope in my dark world. You never know what the winds will bring. So much of life waits to be unfurled. A clarion of hope in my dark world, saying to me there is still time. So much of life waits to be unfurled. Sweetly sings the wind chime. I hope that you too begin to realize that hope is truly a growing dawn. God bless your grief journey. Thank you.